Good morning, good people, fellow humans. And I spell that Huemonds, colorful nuts. And I think if we remember that's what we are, all will be well. Things will be better if we think of it that way. We're just colorful nuts. Nothing special, no big deal, etc. So, today is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Wow, this month is really flying by. We are here in southwestern Nevada, east of Death Valley, west of Sin City, south of Area 51, Hardscrabble, Art Bell, George Norrie territory. Spooky stuff. But that's where we are, Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky, you choose. But thankful to be here. That's kind of a strange term. Thankful to be here. Who am I thankful for? Thankful for the gift of life. Okay. So, our purpose for being here is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. The ultimate belief is that we are spirit with a body. We're not a body with a spirit. We're a spirit with a body, and the body transcends death. The spirit doesn't end with death. It's not over. We're not just atoms in the void. It's not like the light bulb or the vacuum cleaner. Oh, the filament broke. The motor went out. It's done. It's not that Hitler and Mother Teresa are in the same place. No, they're in different places. They continue their trajectory after their body wore out. The body stopped functioning for whatever reason. Their soul continues on the path. Our job is to help people on their trajectory, where they're going. And we do it in 4 areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And those happen to match the gifts that we have been given. So with the gift of life that we are given, a gift, it's not a contract. There's no bargain for exchange. It's not a loan. God doesn't own our body. We have this gift of life and we have free will to do with it whatever we want because it's a gift. Just like you give somebody a $10 bill and say, here, this is for you. And whatever they choose to do with it, they're free to choose. You can have opinion about it, but you gave them the gift of life or the gift of the $20 bill, and they can do with it whatever they want. Now, it could have been a loan, but that's not a gift. Could have been I'm going to give you this. Well, that's still a contract. It's not a loan. I'm going to give you this on the condition that you use it for that. That's not what we have been given. We have the gift of life, freely given. And that breaks down into 3 areas. The body. So we have been given a gift of a body that is able to do great things to move our spirit around, move the body around, and our spirit, our brain. Specialized gift we have is a brain. The brain that's the most complex thing in the universe other than the universe. That was a gift. And the third thing are these emotions that are incredibly powerful. So the gift of life includes 3 components. Body that can do crazy, wonderful things. A brain that we still don't know how it works. It's so complex. And emotions. All for the purpose to do whatever we want. And one of the opportunities is to get to be one with the creators. And how do we do that? Well, we simply do what Jesus said. So the second fundamental thing we believe is that Jesus was who he said he was. He was the creator incarnate. The Shroud of Turin is physical evidence of that, pretty good physical evidence, that compelling physical evidence of that. That Jesus was who he said he was, and what he said we need to do, and what he said his dad said, the creator said we need to do, God said we need to do, is obey his commands, which are three: love God with all your heart, mind, soul, love one another as I have loved you, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them and teaching them the commands I have taught you. That's it. I don't see anywhere in there the pursuit of money. In fact, there's the opposite. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. God will take care of you. Okay, so that's why we're here. And today we have a really big shoe, as Ed Sullivan used to say. Today's theme, where'd it go? Okay, who stole the theme? Today's theme is, why do humans control the planet? Yuval Harari, another big name. The experts are like, yeah, I think he nailed it. The experts who are 1 mile wide and 100 miles deep, like, yeah, I think he nailed it, because he was able to go this way to sample the domains of the others. Yuval Harari, Israeli, intellectual. Okay, advice from an 80-year-old: give people a second chance and a third chance, etc. But I would say, pursuant to Luke 17:3. Look it up. What else we have? Daily Stoic, Austin, Jordan Peterson. The first small step. Yeah, that's a good one down below in the worksheet. First small step. Doesn't matter how small it is. It's the first small step. Doesn't matter how bad you are at taking it. Take the first step. Darren Hardy, your team's secret they won't tell you, and how to get them to. Right, that's a good one. Looking at these, let's look at Seth's blog. Seth blogs, The Talking Dog. First mistake. If you meet a talking dog in the street and it makes a few grammatical errors or speaks with an accent, you don't use a few errors to dismiss the fact that this is an actual talking dog. It's amazing. It might even be worth having to join your team. It might even be worth having it join your team. Second mistake. If a talking dog tells you something, that doesn't mean it's true. Check the work, even if your dog's name is Claude. AI, what should we do now? As creatives, freelancers, and impresarios gaze at the incoming AI revolution, it's tempting to turn away and get back to work. Well, what if this is the work? There are plenty of caveats that come with the talking dogs of AI, not just the hallucination or the dislocations. These are issues of climate, of control, and of access. But in all the past technology revolutions we've faced, highlighting the problems and walking away is probably not the best way to have influence or impact. Just because candidates have flaws doesn't mean you shouldn't vote. True. I'm launching a short new Udemy course on how I'm thinking about AI and how you might shift your perspective to put it to work. This is the biggest shift in our world since the invention of electricity. And you're either going to work for an AI or an AI is going to work for you. One of these is a good option. The course is discounted 40% for the next 5 days. It won't give you any tricks or tips, but it might open your eyes to a different posture for dancing with the talking dog. So I'm going to go to the link for that Udemy course. Oh, wow. $35. Tempting, compelling. All righty then. How we doing for time? Time is such a runic rhyme. Right. Who said that? Ding, ding, ding. Right. Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, let's talk about why humans control the planet. And why should we care, and how do I apply it to me? All right, so Yuval Harari says, think about this. You're on a deserted island and a chimpanzee is on a deserted island. Who's going to do better? If you said the chimpanzee, you would be correct. You would be correct. What if it was 5 humans versus 5 chimpanzees? Probably still the chimpanzees. What if it was 100 versus 100? Well, the humans would do wonderful things on the deserted island. The chimpanzees would just be unorganized, each doing their own thing. They'd be nuisances. They'd be hunted down and killed because they'd always want to steal the food, rape the women, etc. Well, maybe not the stealing food part. Yuval Harari also points out that 75,000 years ago, humans were no more significant on the planet than, say, jellyfish. They really didn't have an impact on the planet. We're not particularly strong. We're not particularly fast. There's nothing special about the human 75,000 years ago. Okay. But what is it that makes humans different? Well, only humans are able to work collectively and flexibly in large numbers. So you have some animals that can work in large numbers, ants, bees, termites, etc. But they can't work flexibly. They can only do it one way. A beehive can't change. So as he says, you can't become all of a sudden the Republic of Bees or a kingdom of bees type of thing. They have one way to do it, and if that way fails, the whole thing falls apart. So some animals can work in large numbers, but not flexibly. Other animals, like chimpanzees or wolves, whatever, can work flexibly, but not in large numbers, only in small numbers. So as he says, you'll never see a chimpanzee go off to a distant land and give a talk to another chimpanzee tribe. It doesn't happen. It's small numbers. Chimpanzees will trade, but it's only if they know one another. Are you a good chimpanzee or are you a bad chimpanzee? So only humans can do that. And the question is, well, why are humans able to work flexibly in large numbers? And his answer is because we invent stories. And if we get people to believe in the story, they can work flexibly in large numbers. And he gives a lot of examples of stories. Money would be an example of a story that if we all believe it, it works. If this worthless piece of green paper is worth 10 bananas, as he says today, it would be 1 banana. If this worthless piece of green paper, people believe it's worth a banana, you can go to any stranger that sells bananas and give them a worthless piece of green paper and they'll give you an actual banana. And then he goes on and talks about all kinds of stories. Human rights is a story. Countries are stories. There's no physical thing. Human rights are a story because if you open a body up, you'll find bones and neurons and muscles and tendons and organs, but you won't find any human rights. On the planet Earth, you don't see countries. You don't see stuff. You might see a sign that says this is a country, but you don't see a country. You see a landscape. Religion is another example that he says we invent a story, and there are many stories, many religions. There's 40,000 different Protestant religions, versions of Protestant Christianity, and a few Catholic, not a few, more than a few, but a small number of Catholic if you include the Orthodox. And just the point would be, okay, footnote here, there are many religions, all can't be right, especially when they're mutually exclusive, but all of them can be wrong. It could be the case that all religions are wrong, but it can't be the case that more than one religion that's exclusive can be right. So if you believe in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the light, and no one gets to the Father except through me. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through me. If you think that means you need to be a Christian, then that means everyone else is wrong. Everyone who doesn't believe that is wrong. Now, if you read John 14:1 through 14:5, you'll get that really wasn't what Jesus was. He didn't mean it literally. Next, okay, so only humans can work flexibly in large numbers, and only humans can do that because we invent stories that we believe. And if we believe them, we can do it. And there's some bad stories too. So prisons, slaughterhouses, those are negative stories. The next thing, so well, why is it humans can invent stories? And the answer is because we see the world in, only we can see the world from two dimensions, from an objective reality and a fictitious reality. So behind me would be a good example. So there's a picture of a water. I think it's a lake. I would say it's a lake, an inlet in a lake. And you can say there's trees, there's plants, there's water, there's rocks, there's sky. You can objectively describe it, or you can subjectively or fictionally describe it as it's a beautiful place, serene, and you can create a whole fictional story on that. And if you believe that story, like, wow, this is a slice of heaven, then, and other people believe it, then they will do things like go there. So only humans can do that. Why do humans do it? Well, we would switch over to Susanna Herculano, who said because we have more neurons than any other animals, and that is true. But that's a different subject. So how do we apply it to us? We take that story about why humans control the planet and we turn it to us. If we tell a story about us and you get other people to believe it, like prospective employers, then they will work flexibly with you. They will cooperate with you. But you need to tell a story. And it turns out that most of the storytelling is nonverbal. We're very good at picking up visual signals, nonverbal clues. So if you go into an interview, you have to look good, but also sincere and real. If you show up in a great suit, but it's obvious you don't know how to wear a suit, you're uncomfortable in the suit, the other people are going to pick up on that. If you're sitting like this, you're wearing a nice suit, but you're sitting like this, doesn't work. Other nonverbals, they ask you the question, why should we hire you? The typical answer you're going to give is wrong. The right answer is because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. That's the right answer. And you notice I didn't do it like this, because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. I did it like this, just very subtle, because we pick up on nonverbal things. It's almost 70% of communication is nonverbal. Then you have how you say things, like is this the same? Uh, because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else? No, that's not the same as because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. So the nonverbals, the intonation of how you say the words, and then the third thing is what you say. So everybody knows a good orator, it's how they deliver the message. It's the sound of it more than the words. People pick out little words or phrases, and it gets to their heart and they remember it. The words are the least important. So the story is the important thing. So you tell a story, relying on nonverbals, you tell a story. Week 3, Seth Godin, you tell a story in a convincing manner, and that's how you need to think about it. I need to tell a story, and it should be a factual story. I need to tell a story of why they should hire me. If he believes the story, what's he going to do? Hire me, unless there's somebody better that comes along, and then just keep going on. Anyway, that's it. This has gone over. My apologies. Road trip to Vegas today. A lot of interesting things, including haircut. Come back tomorrow with less hair, lighter, weighing less. That we're going to say and cut, and cut. Good morning, Atticus von Atticus. Undersard.